Good evening. Let us begin with this mantra. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriritam kalmashapaham sravanamangalam srimadatam bhuvi grinanti e bhurida janaha. And this mantra that describes that if you hear, read, listen, these words of the God, you get all the merits. And when we listen to this, those who are really the seeker of spirituality, they truly get this. Today we will read a few passages, the discussion that Sri Ma particularly having with Sri Ramakrishna. The last time Sri Ramakrishna was inquiring, the last class we read after that, what do the English think about God? He was inquiring about the God of the English. And the aim said they believe in a formless God, the God without form. Master Sri Ramakrishna immediately mentioned that is also one of our beliefs. That is also one of our beliefs. We have so many beliefs. In the Hinduism, we are having so many different type of faiths, beliefs, paths. So, one of our beliefs, then he is describing his own experiences, and that is very important. We talk about the formless God. We talk about God everywhere. But now he is describing the three different visions where he found God everywhere. And we will see that our scriptures are rightly supporting the visions of Sri Ramakrishna. And at the same time, the visions of Sri Ramakrishna, we should keep in mind, Sri Ramakrishna didn't read any scripture. Not that after reading the scripture, somebody is talking and giving the description. No, not like that. He never read any scripture. But all his realizations tallied with the scripture. So, his realizations are the proofs of the scriptural truths. Here we find Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, for a time, master and disciple remained silent. Disciple means Sri Ma. Then Sri Ramakrishna began to describe his experiences of Brahman. One day, I had the vision of consciousness, non-dual and indivisible. Is a page 282 of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna by Swami Ishatmananda ji. One day, I had the vision of consciousness, non-dual and indivisible. We know about the Brahman almost everywhere. They have said it is one without a second. That same Brahman, he is mentioning consciousness. It is everywhere, and at the same time non-dual, not having two, and indivisible. At first, it had been revealed to me that there were innumerable men, animals, and other creatures. This is Sri Ramakrishna's vision. It goes beyond even the other realizations of the Brahmagyanis. He said in one place, we should not misunderstand that he is boasting. He was the person who could not even say I. He was so humble. He was not associated with his body. And that person said, Ekhankar Abhiggata Ved Vedanta ke chhadiye gech. The experiences of this person over here in Sri Ramakrishna, it has gone beyond the Veda and Vedanta. What is the Veda? The knowledge of the rishis, realizations of the rishis. Now here in Sri Ramakrishna, in the modern age, he has realized in such a way that it has surpassed that even. So he is telling, when I am seeing that consciousness, non-dual, how he saw at first, it revealed to me that there were innumerable men, animals and other creatures. Among them there were aristocrats, the English, the Mussalmans, myself, scavengers, dogs, and also a bearded Mussalman with an earthenware tray of rice in his hand. He put a few grains of rice into everybody's mouth. I too tasted a little. It's a very special way of realization, and this Mussalman, we all know, Swami Vivekananda also said, Islamic body, the unity, they are not divided at the caste, creed, no division. That is the unity. And here he said aristocrat and also the scavengers. All are there, and the different people belonging to different religion, they are there. And Sri Ramakrishna myself were there. Who is Sri Ramakrishna? The avatar. Even the incarnation of God and the scavenger, a dog, different people belonging to different religion, all belong to that Brahman. This is the unique way of expressing the Brahman. And he said, I too. Then he said the second day. Another day I saw, this time not men, animal or anything. I saw the rice, vegetables and other foodstuff, and filth and dirt as well. Suddenly the soul came out of my body and like a flame touched everything. Can you imagine? So sometimes when we try to understand what is Brahman, the most of the people, they say that you cannot describe Brahman. Here Sri Ramakrishna giving a complete and clear idea about Brahman, each and everything. And he is giving very categorically first the men, animals and all sorts of people. Then this type of, he says the rice, vegetable, other foodstuff. Another day, the third vision, it was revealed to me that I had devotees, my intimate companions, my very own. So now this is the third stage where he found, the incarnation found that his own people are also there, and they are also the manifestation of the same Brahman. And then he said, thereafter, after this realization, I would climb to the roof of the kuti as soon as the bells and the conch shells of the evening service sounded in the temples, and cry out with a longing heart, "Oh, where are you all? Come here, I am dying to see you." So this is the call of the God, and those who are pure in heart, they receive that call. And they come to God, and they get that opportunity to understand, to realize God. But sometimes, unfortunately, after coming over here again, we develop our own sorts of ego, divisions, narrowness. Again we go back to the same square one. So that we must be very, very careful. Friends, as Sri Ramakrishna was describing about the Brahman, the Atman, which is in everything, we find in the scriptures also. Here in the Isha Upanishad, it says in the 6th verse of the Isha Upanishad, very clearly it mentioned, Yastu sarvani bhutani atmannevanupashyati sarva bhuteshu cha atmanam tato na bijugupshati. Sarvani bhutani, he who sees all beings in the self. Now what we read in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, he sees everything in that as the self, not only the men or the people or the human being, animals, and also everything including filth. It all comes into that. Yastu sarvani bhutani. Here it says about the bhuta, about the being, atmannevanupashyati, in the self itself, and the self in all beings. Sarva bhuteshu cha atmanam tato na bijugupshati. It cannot hate. Though we have noticed, those who know about the Hinduism, Tantra. As a process of Tantra, they will be going into not only in the solitude, but in the places where the dead bodies are burning or lying down. They will go and sit over there without any hatred, without any fear. They develop that, the mother, the power of God, that consciousness, that Brahman, that is also there in everything. So this is the experience of the realization, and when we realize that oneness, how can I hate? That is why Ma Sharada Muni Devi said, do not criticize others, do not find fault with others. And she said, if you want peace, if you don't want, I have nothing to say. But if you are interested to have that peace, the joy, the happiness, eternal, then don't try to find fault with others. And this is the teaching we get. Again, I was quoting from the Isha Upanishad. Now, in the Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, 30th sloka mantra, it says, Yo mam pashyati sarvatra. Whenever I read these pages of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, I am a little slow in reading, because always I try to get this Shastra, the scripture, which is the support, the basis. This is our Bhagavad Gita, this Upanishad, the Veda, how it is collaborating, supporting. So that we find here too. In the Bhagavad Gita we find the description, Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvancha mai pashyati tasya hamna pranashyami sacha mena pranashyati. He who sees me in all beings. In the Isha Upanishad we find the same thing. In the Bhagavad Gita, he who sees me, the God. This time it is not Atman, it is the God. In every being and all beings in me, M capital, the God, to him I am never lost, nor he to me. So again we find, as Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's experience, he saw this is me. He saw the Muslim, Christian, a scavenger, an aristocrat, and Sri Ramakrishna himself. even the avatara, all belong to the same group. Uttar Gita is another wonderful conversation. Sri Krishna mentioned over here, since the Paramatma, the Supreme Self, is present everywhere, Tattva Jnani, that means the knower of the Brahman, sees that Self in everything. Why? The Tattva Jnani, the knower of the Brahman, he sees the Self or the Brahman everywhere because it is present over there. So that Krishna in the Uttar Gita, he is telling, Yatra Yatra Mano Yati Tatra Tatra Param Padam. Tatra Tatra Param Brahma Sarvatra Samavasthitam. These are the unique way of giving the example of the Brahman. All over we talk about Brahman, about the Vedanta, about the God without any form. Now we see that our scriptures, whatever they have expressed about that Brahman, as maximum possible, as close to our understanding. And the same way Sri Ramakrishna giving a clear view about the Brahman. And now if anyone is fighting in the name of religion, how that can be possible? How a man can criticize others if he is a man of religion? If he says like that, naturally we feel doubt. Is he telling the truth? Because the moment we realize that, we find the same God everywhere. If you don't say God, then the consciousness, or the Atman, or the Brahman, in different names. And finally we may quote from the great lawgiver of the Hindus, the Manu Maharaj. He is also telling in the same way, Sarva Bhuteshu cha Atmanam, Sarva Bhutani cha Atmani. Sarva Bhuteshu cha Atmanam, in every being, if I see my God or myself, the Atman, and again in the Atman, all being, Samam Pashyan Atmajaji. Atmajaji means Atmagyani. Atmagyani means the knower of the self. Samam Pashyan, he cannot see indifferent. It cannot. Swarajyam adhigacchati. Then only he can realize his own realization, means the mukti, or the, as the Buddha said, knowledge, or nirvana, moksha, whatever we say. That the ultimate goal is to see only one, cannot be the difference. This is Sri Ramakrishna, he is explaining and giving his own experience. And to whom? To Master Maharshai. Not publicly. Only to Master Maharshai he is telling. Master Maharshai is noting. This is also important because ordinary people may misunderstand. And after narrating this thing, his own experiences, then he was asking the Master Maharshai. Why? Because he selected Master Maharshai to note all his messages and to publish it for the benefit of the people. All these experiences of the Veda, so clearly realized by Sri Ramakrishna, that's why I gave this Panchama Veda name to this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. It's the fifth Veda, all full of knowledge, every page, every sentence giving us that Atma Jnana. And naturally, the person who is living just sitting before me, is he a God realized person or an incarnation of God? Doubt may come. And he is asking the question to the Master Maharshai, well, what do you think of these visions? Most of the time people will say, sir, this type of vision, you know, the weak mind, they see so many things. He is asking the Master Maharshai because Master Maharshi will be noting. If the person is not understanding the thing properly, then he may note it or express it afterwards a different way. The meaning will be different. Master Maharshi immediately said, God has created other beings as if with a machine, almost the same way, but yourself with his own hands. Here in America they say the custom made. If you say properly, these are the things I want, and then only they will prepare, and very costly. So God prepared Sri Ramakrishna with his own hand. Master Maharshi's realization. The God has created other beings as if with a machine, but yourself with his own hands. Then he said, well, Hajra says that after the vision of God, one acquires 6 divine powers. He is now asking the same way to Master Maharshi, what about that? I am not having that 6 powers. Naturally, the people, ordinary people, they always think if there is something special in that man, supernatural, then only we can believe that he is the manifestation of God or having little power of God. I think I told you once, then one of the sect, I went to a place, they are the followers of the Lord Krishna, and when they saw me and told, are you from the Ramakrishna mission? I told yes. Then an elderly person told, oh my God, why you are so ignorant about this? You are following Sri Ramakrishna as God, and you, why? What is the problem? Sri Ramakrishna could not lift even a small piece of stone, whereas Sri Krishna lifted the whole mountain. And leaving Sri Krishna, you are following Sri Ramakrishna. I don't know what is there. If Sri Krishna is lifting the mountain with his finger, that is a different thing. But the people, they always think in that way, unless and until you are showing some miraculous power, they will never accept you as divine. So this is the great barrier. Those who are truly seeking for the God realization, the true knowledge, they must understand this has nothing to do with that. And we will hear the Sri Ramakrishna is also mentioning the 6 knowledge, 6 divine power, spiritual power that the Hazra always mentioning, that is this, Aisharyasya Samagrasya, Aisharya Samagra, Biriyasya Yasha Sri Jnana Vairagyaschaiva Shannam Bhaga Itingana. These are the 6 power. One is Aisharya, another is Birya, another is Yasha, then Sri, Jnana, Vairagya. Now, if we look at Sri Ramakrishna, we can see everything in him. That's why afterwards, in the beginning, he was not believing. Swami Vivekananda, he was not believing. Then afterwards, as a true scientist, he examined Sri Ramakrishna. Then when he himself realized, he understood Sri Ramakrishna. Of course, he said a very little. But even then he said, Sri Ramakrishna is the father of God. What you talk about God? Bhagavanir Baba in Bengali, he said, is the father of God. Why? All the qualities that you see or you think, you can imagine in God, much more is present in Sri Ramakrishna. Each and everything is present in Sri Ramakrishna. So that is the main reason he said that Hajra, he is also always talking about this. If this man has realized God, why he is not showing all those 6 powers? Then the aim, those who seek pure love don't want powers. The Master Maharshi Now he is understanding. So he said, when we need pure love, we know the stories of the gopis. When the gopis, they went to see the Krishna, and they went to the Gujarat, Dwarka, there they didn't like Krishna because he was sitting on the throne with all those, because he was a king over there, the Krishna. Gopis never wanted to see Krishna with all that power, all that wealth. They wanted Krishna, the person whom they loved. Sri Ramakrishna mentioned this point. Those who really love God never want the power, never want all those things, because the love is the best thing. And Sri God himself, as Swami Vivekananda is telling, L-O-V-E. About Sri Ramakrishna he said, L-O-V-E, but this is the love. When the love is small, just me and mine, that is also the expression of God. But when that expands, it goes and embraces everything without any discrimination, that is godly, that is divine. So here he says that Hajra is talking about all this. So Master Maharshaya said, because you don't want all those, you want the pure love, so you are not showing as if. Sri Ramakrishna mentioned, perhaps Hajra was a poor man in the previous life, and that is why he wants so much to see the manifestation of power. Those who are the poor, they think about the wealth. So whoever is wealthy in our country, if you go and see, even a small person, maybe an ordinary leader of a village, he will show so much thing. Otherwise, people don't accept him. If you are not going with the red light and the police also giving you the escort and also many people, then other people won't respect you. Hey, he is nothing. He is just like us. He is an ordinary man. Because they are poor, they want to see that the show off, the power, the wealth, and then only they appreciate, is the indication of the poorness of mind. In the spiritual life also, when you always go to those people who are showing some miracles, this is just like Hajra. The previous life, they wanted to get something, and now in this life also always appreciating something which is having the miraculous power and all this. So Hajra perhaps was a poor man. Then we find that he says, many a time you have said that a devotee who loves God for the sake of love does not care to see God's powers. A true devotee wants to see God as Gopala. M remembered all the words of Sri Ramakrishna, now he is telling those. And Master said, yes, it is just like the sun at the dawn. You can easily look at that sun. It doesn't dazzle the eyes. Rather, it satisfies them. How the wonderful expression, when you want to see the God, without all that, he is having the power. Now in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita also we find, Arjuna wanted to see that type of God who is having all power. But when he saw a man like Arjuna, hero, he was afraid. Immediately he prayed, please become as you were before. I cannot withstand this. So that is why always they pray to the Lord Shiva, Dakshina Mukham, Yatti Dakshina Mukham. That I want to see. I want to see, O God, your benign face. Sri Ramakrishna always used to say, do not worship the Shashan Kali, the Kali in the cremation ground. she is terrible. That time she is destroying. She is mother, but at the same time, that particular moment, she is doing something terrible. And you should not go near him at that time. Rather, you worship Dakshina Kali when she is benign. I always suggest our devotees, whoever wants to keep the picture or the images, why not the image of Dakshineshwar? Because that is the image where Sri Ramakrishna brought that divine mother, that power in that. So she is so divine, so benign, so loving. I can go near to that mother, I can pray and I can meditate on her. Here the same thing Sri Ramakrishna is telling. When the sun in the middle of the day, it is impossible to look at the sun. But in the morning dawn sun, it is so good, we can see. Both remained silent for some time. Then the aim said, why should your vision not be real? Suddenly, aim, the Master Mahasaya, he is thinking. That is the importance, that is the beauty of the Sri Ramakrishna's devotees. When they are listening something, even from the mouth of the Sri Ramakrishna, not that they are accepting immediately. They are pondering over that, meditating on that, finding out though really it is true and or not. So all this time the Master Mahasaya was pondering over all those visions that Sri Ramakrishna described. Now suddenly he is telling, why should your visions not be real? If they are unreal, then the world is still more unreal. For there is only one mind, that is the instrument of perception. Your pure mind sees those visions and our ordinary mind see worldly objects. He is going to the point of the Vedanta. There is only one mind. When we are reading the scripture, particularly the Upanishads and the Kena Upanishad, we found that the disciple is coming and asking the question, Kene shitam pratati prashitam mana, kena prana pratamapaiti, and why my mind is not listening to me, not under my control, as if somebody else is utilizing my mind, sending it to any direction. Kenesitam patati prashitam manaha. Then in the answer, the Guru said that behind the mind there is another mind. Behind everything, all that's chakshu, karna, nashika, another power is there. Without that, nothing can work. So that power is the power of the Brahman. Now those who are studying the Vedanta, they can try to understand this, and they are slowly understanding this, that something is always there behind all our mind, our conception, our intellect, our existence. So obviously that power is nothing but the power of the Brahman, the consciousness. Right this moment we cannot perceive, we cannot touch, we cannot smell, but realization is possible. The aim, Master Mahasaya, after discriminating, thinking, and then he said, it must be possible, because it is your pure mind. With the pure mind which is not bound by any desire, when there is no waves of any thought, any desire, there the reflection of the truth is there. But we the worldly people, as because we are having so many different thoughts in our mind, so naturally we see things in a different way. Master, I see that you have, now you see, he is giving the certificate to the Master Mahasaya. He is giving the certificate. I see that you have grasped the idea of unreality. Well, tell me what you think of Ajra. Again he is going back to Hajra. You know why? Because most of his disciples, they were impressed by the Hajra, the young people. And Hajra Mahashaya, he is sitting over there with so many books. And naturally the modern people, they appreciate the person who can quote from different books. And if you can quote from different scripture, and also the scientists, also the writers, the people are so much impressed. Some of our speakers, they are melting money just because they are utilizing their intellect in that way. But if you go and ask them, sir, have you realized that? Or do you practice what you say? Far from that. So that is the main thing. Sri Ramakrishna is always guiding his own disciples in a very proper way. And one time, maybe in this book, we will come to know that Sri Ramakrishna is telling directly. That was not his nature. But only here we find to the aim, Master Mahashaya, who will be his Ganesha, who will be writing all his messages. He said, don't go to anywhere, come only over here. And this time when he gave the call, he called those people, then he said, if anyone, even for once, truly called God, will come over here. In the ideology of Sri Ramakrishna, which is all embracing. The ideology of Sri Ramakrishna is all embracing, is never denouncing anyone. But if we come to this, Swami Vivekananda, indirectly in one place, a long time afterwards, when he is very famous, he is telling, oh, I see that the drinking water flow. He says, Shuradhani, that is the pure Ganga. The Ganga water, the pure water, is flowing. But some foolish, they are making the well on the bank of the Ganga. They are not going to the Ganga to take that water. Unfortunate. So this is Sri Ramakrishna, who is giving the true religion, but somehow we do not understand that. We go to all the different places. He is giving the indication. Again, in different places we will find that he is telling that Batsahi Amole Taka, now in the age of in the realm of the Britishers, you cannot utilize that. The coin that was made by the Badshahs and then the Muslim rulers, you cannot use that coin now because everything has been changed. It is the British rule. The indication is previously the same God came, he gave the instructions, but that was only for that particular people, that period of time. Hundreds of years have been already changed. Mentality of the people have been changed. Lifestyle changed. So now God again he has come and giving the new direction, which is so easy for the modern people. If we go back to the old and then try to do that, it is impossible. Here Master Mahashaya, when he was suddenly, he expressed his own opinion about the visions of Sri Ramakrishna, the Sri Ramakrishna was very happy. Like the true master, true teacher, he said, I see that you have understood this idea, unreality you have understood. What is that unreality? Temporary. It's not that it's not there. Sometimes when you talk about this world is unreal, and we always say that it is like the mirage, but some people say it is not the correct the way of expression. When you are giving the example of the mirage, it is not there actually and truly, but you see that, then you go. But in this life, I can pinch and can feel the pain. When I am hungry, I can understand that I am hungry. All these things are very much there. How can you say that it's just like the mirage or a dream? It's very much real. How it is real? It is real, but in a lower level. As the children, they think all their playmates and the dolls and all the games are very much real to them at that time. But the seniors, when they are providing all those things to them, they understand they will throw away all these when they grow up, because of the advancement of knowledge, experience, same way. This very moment we think this world is unreal. No, it is also real, but in a lower knowledge. And same thing when we grow and realize that Brahman, we see, no, all that we see is nothing but the same Brahman. As we have just read, the experience of Sri Ramakrishna, all different human beings, everything is nothing but that Brahman. Oh, I don't know. The master is laughing when he was telling that you have understood the unreality. Then the aim, he was a very shy type of person, though very knowledgeable person, very educated person, and he felt shy hearing this appreciation. He said, oh, I don't know. Master laughed and said, well, do you find me to be like anybody else? He wants to make it clear. Sri Ramakrishna never inquired like this thing, but with the aim, when this conversation is, the aim is recording, he was only one with him, nobody else was there. So he is only recording. Otherwise, whenever the other people are there, aim always mentioned who are the people, from where they came, how they were sitting, what happened, everything, all description. This time, in this day, he is only having man-to-man conversation, one-to-one, and Sri Ramakrishna getting himself very clear. He was sure about him, but at the same time examining how he is understanding. The moment he master said, well, do you find me to be like anybody else? Aim said, no, sir. Again, this is very interesting. The master said, like any other Paramahamsa? Because there are so many all the time people that declare, self-declared Paramahamsa. Paramahamsa means the swan, the great swan. Paramahamsa. Parama means great. Hamsa, swan. Why? Because they live in the water but never wet by that water. That is the symbol. The Paramahamsas, after realizing the God, the Brahman, they are living in the society just like any other people, but not associated with those, the thing that is there in the samsara, like narrowness, hatred, jealousy, nothing in there. So here he says, any other Paramahamsa? Aim said, no, sir, you cannot be compared to anybody else. Master smiling, have you heard of a tree called Achin? Achin means unknown. So Achin tree? Aim, no, sir. The master, there is a tree called by that name, but nobody knows what it is. Aim, likewise, it is not possible to recognize you. The more a man understands you, the more uplifted he will be. The more a man understands Sri Ramakrishna, the more uplifted he will be. It's very, very rare that Sri Ramakrishna ever said about himself, but in one place, to one devotee who was not having any faith in God, and he was constantly thinking, doubting the existence of God, but Sri Ramakrishna was very eager to help him to realize God, and he said, you remember me. that will do. Because he had the faith in Sri Ramakrishna. So he used to come to Sri Ramakrishna, he used to have dialogue with Sri Ramakrishna. So Sri Ramakrishna understood that if I say that, he will concentrate on me. Then he said, you remember me, that will do. You need not to remember anything else. Though we are imagining Krishna or Rama or Kali or Durga, but here is a person whom I can see, I can talk, I know about him. He has a picture. Most of the time people will say, why not a statue of Sri Ramakrishna? I tell you, why? Because this is true. It was in the photo that Ma Sharadamani Devi said, the modern people are so clever, they have taken the photo of the God. And he said, if you need not to meditate, only look at that photo, that will do. So that Sri Ramakrishna, he said, and the master smiling, have you heard of your Achin tree? No. Then he said likewise. M was silent. He said to himself, the master referred to the sun at the dawn, and the tree unrecognizable by man. Did he mean an incarnation of God? Is this the play of God through man? Is the master himself an incarnation? Now this is the question. With all these things, Master Mahashaya is still having that question in his mind. Contemporary people is very difficult to understand. But the contemporary people is so difficult to understand. So naturally, he is thinking, the person who is sitting before me, I can talk to him, I can see him, but still, and that person sometime asking Master Mahashaya, can you purchase a dhoti, a piece of cloth for me? The God is asking a piece of cloth from me. Can I consider him as God? So these are naturally the doubts the aim also having, and he is thinking, is the master himself an incarnation? Was this why he cried to the devotees from the roof of the kuti? Kuti means where the landlords of the Dakshineshwar, they used to live. That's called kuti badi. So the incarnation is giving the call, come to me, as the Jesus gave the call to the fishermen. He told, give away all those things, the net with which you are catching the fish, I will teach you how to catch the men. So this is a total, the call, burn the boat at your back and follow me. That's all the time the incarnations are giving the call. Very few can understand it, the blessed few. They understand it, they follow him, and they realize the truth. Sri Ramakrishna, he is sitting in a room, in his room, and he is thinking, Master Mahashaya, he noticed that Sri Ramakrishna went to the Kali temple, came back, sat on his bed, and is talking with the Divine Mother. Mother, what is all this room about? Shall I go there? I shall go if you take me. This is really unique. Sri Ramakrishna, every moment, he used to feel the presence of the Divine Mother and never did anything without her behest, without her permission. So this time, an invitation has come to visit the devotee's house, and Sri Ramakrishna is taking the permission of the Mother. If you say or if you take me, then only I will go, or not. The master was to go to a devotee's house. Was it for this that he was asking the Divine Mother's permission? The same thing happened in the life of Swami Premananda. Swami Premananda was supposed to go to the East Bengal, the nowadays the Bangladesh. Everything was ready. The people also came with the boat. In those days they used to sail with the boat to take him. Then Premanandaji went to offer pranam to Thakur, Sri Ramakrishna, in that old temple of Belur Math. And he was taking a long time, he was not coming out. And the people went and saw that he is having the conversation with Sri Ramakrishna. They couldn't see the Sri Ramakrishna, they saw the picture, but they could feel that Premanandaji is having some dialogue. And then he came out and told, no, Thakur is telling not to go this time, I won't go. So this is the presence. Swami Vivekananda also, without the permission of the Mother, the Divine Mother, in the form of Ma Sharada Mani Devi, never did anything. Now that's why we always think that their presence is so much. We must go and ask the permission and tell him, I want to do this, shall I? Wait for. And then you will see everything is becoming, maybe that we are not directly getting the order of Sri Ramakrishna, but we will feel that everything is becoming all right. So we can feel it is the will of God. I can do that. If it is not, it's good that I have not done it. I could not do it. I should not feel sorry. Rather, I will be happy that it was not the will of God that I couldn't do. So that is called karma yoga. So whatever I am doing at the behest of the Mother or the God. And so I have nothing to do. If it is success, it is because of God. If it is not, then He never wanted it to be done. So this way, even Swamiji, Premanandaji, again, he spoke to her, perhaps praying about an intimate disciple. This is very, very interesting. Mother, please make me stainless. Well, Mother, why have you given him only a particle? Why have you given him, means the devotee, a particle? Why such a small portion of the power, divine power, you have given to him? Then, remaining silent a moment, listening to the Mother, from the Mother something she is telling, oh, I see, that will be enough for your work. Can you imagine? When a person is so near and he can listen to the conversation between the Divine Mother and the incarnation of God, and that way everywhere, anyone becoming little successful, be sure that is the power of God manifested through that. So we should always wait and pray for that power to come, and even a little that is sufficient. That which is Brahman is verily Shakti. I address that again as the Mother. I call it Brahman when it is inactive, and Shakti when it creates, preserve and destroy. It is like water, sometimes still and sometimes covered with waves. The incarnation of God is a part of the Leela of Shakti. The purpose of the divine incarnation is to teach man ecstatic love for God. The incarnation is like udder of the cow, the only place milk is to be got. God incarnates himself as man. There is a great accumulation of divinity in an incarnation. And that is why Jesus said, those who have seen the Son have seen the Father. That means seeing the incarnation means seeing the God. It is that accumulation of the God. Sri Ramakrishna also, in that same position that we see now in this picture, he said, it is an expression of great divinity, wonderful divinity in this expression when he is sitting. It is that through that posture the divine is manifesting. Only we need to have the eyes to understand that, to see that. Some of the devotees wondered, is Sri Ramakrishna an incarnation of God like Krishna, Chaitanya and Christ? It is, devotee means again the master. He is going on thinking. And some people, they say, some of the researchers on the gospel, they said, when the master Sri Ramakrishna was talking with the Divine Mother and was arguing about a devotee's divine power and said, that much will do, it was about Master Mahasaya, the Mahendranath Gupta, the writer of the gospel and the recorder, we can say, the recorder of the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Because this was the Master Mahasaya we saw afterwards. Because of the gospel, thousands of people came to know about Sri Ramakrishna. Even today, so many people, after reading the gospel, they understand religion in a true manner. One American gentleman came and he told, I am trying to understand this Hinduism, and recently I got the book Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and I cannot leave that book. Every page I read and I feel this is true religion. So that is the power that the Divine Mother gave to the writer, the teacher, as a very ordinary man, and see how through him a great work has been done. So if the Mother, the Divine Mother, which is nothing but Brahman, giving a little power to anyone, he is blessed. And Sri Ramakrishna was the incarnation, no doubt. Maybe we will read other passages next day. Let us conclude with Pranam Mantra. Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhrita Vigraham Vai Ishavattaram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namama. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. The devotees, friends,